Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. November 2nd, 2017.
2:05 here on the Great WRKO. Okay, special announcement, my friends. Tomorrow, 2:35, please tune in. I do have to make a very important announcement. And then Saturday, 9 a.m. until noon, there will be a special live show that I will be hosting. In fact, along with Dr. Grace, a call-in show. Please, if you can tune in this Saturday from 9 a.m. until noon, I would greatly appreciate it. 617-266-6868. I want to give a very big hat tip to Eric Rasmussen. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, or Rasmussen, and Aaron Smith at Fox 25 Investigates. They have pulled off another great story. Listen now to this. This one, just sit back, because your money's being stolen. So if it's going to be stolen, enjoy it. Okay, at least, bring the popcorn and enjoy this one, because this is a show. So, according now to 25 Investigates, as you know, there used to be a system here of per diem, right, in terms of state lawmakers would have their expenses paid for every time they would have to commute up on Beacon Hill, and it was on a per diem basis. They've now changed that into a kind of massive travel expense fund that they all just draw on. But anyway, under the per diem basis, guess what? Over 40 that we know of, state lawmakers have been billing taxpayers to pay for bogus commutes. They would make it up. They would literally say, I'm heading off to the state legislature for a committee meeting or for a vote or for whatever, and then charge you, the taxpayer, with the cost. It ranged from either $10, depending on how close you live, to as much as $100. And of course, it became like a license to steal. Because what they just kept saying is, I keep traveling. I'm just going up to Beacon Hill, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So they would rack it up. $40 a pop, $50 a pop, 60, 70, 80, $90 a pop. They just kept charging for allegedly having, traveling, for commuting to Beacon Hill. But guess what? They weren't going. They were either at home or at work, because remember, it's a part-time job. So many of them are lawyers or whatever. They actually have their own professions. So while they're on the job making money, they're charging you for allegedly going up to Beacon Hill for some alleged vote or session or hearing. But of course, they're not going. They're just charging. And the whole thing, here's the kicker, was based on a, quote, honor system. So the state treasurer, Deb Goldberg, has come out and admitted, well, we never verified if they were actually really commuting up there. We just took their word for it. So they're charging $4,000, $8,000, $12,000, $16,000, $20,000. They're just charging, this is what they're charging for their alleged travel expenses, and she's just cutting checks. Sure. Bob DeLeo, you spent $20,000 going back and forth? Okay, I don't know if you were there or not. Sure. Here's a check for $20,000. Now, Eric Rasmussen found several legislators deliberately cheating the system. And what he did, and I really want to give him a big hat tip, because this guy really blew the whistle on this, is that he spent the entire week of Thanksgiving, last year's Thanksgiving, 2016, at the State House, and he was there with his camera, and so he was watching, the attendance of every lawmaker, who showed up, who appeared, who didn't, who was at these hearings, committee meetings, voting, whatever, and who did and who didn't show up. And then he checked it against their daily commuting logs. And guess what he found? Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's our money, but either you laugh or you cry. So you might as well laugh. Some of these guys claimed that they were there all 5 days, the week of Thanksgiving. They claimed they were there all 5 days. They weren't even there one day. Others were claiming they were there 3 or 4 days. Some of them were never there, or at best they were there only one day. So, let me just give you an example. So, no one apparently has charged taxpayers for more days traveling to the State House in the last 2 years than State Rep Sean Garbelay. And apparently he lives close by, or relatively close by. He is from Arlington, and so it's just $10 a day. But apparently all this guy did apparently was work up at the State House, because he just kept putting $10 every day. All this guy did was, I guess, travel up to Beacon Hill. So he claimed that he was at the State House all 5 days the week of Thanksgiving. This guy wasn't even eating turkey with his family on Thanksgiving Day and past the stuffing. No, he claims he was up on Beacon Hill working. However, his staff for this Arlington State Rep said, well, he was in district on Monday, so he wasn't there up on Beacon Hill. And on Friday, they say the actual office was locked up. It was completely locked up. So nobody showed up to work on Friday. Not even to put the light on, nothing. Didn't matter. Blank you, I want my $10. Every day, $10. $10, $10, $10. Now, he apparently refused to be interviewed. All he keeps saying is this is all within, quote, the law. That's all he kept saying. It's within the law. It's within the law. Now, there's another one. Representative John Mahoney. Apparently, the Worcester Democrat says that he was there 2 days. 2 days that he worked and got, per diem or whatever. But apparently, he was out the entire week. So he banged us up for 2 days travel expenses, claiming that he was commuting up to Beacon Hill. But guess what? He wasn't there. He wasn't there, not 1 day, not an hour, not a minute, but he banged us up for 2 days. By the way, he's charged taxpayers more than $12,000 for all of his commutes since 2014. In total, they have charged us over $1 million in commuting expenses since 2014. That's how much they're skimming off the top for themselves. But this guy takes the cake. This State Representative Paul McMurdy from Dedham. So this guy claimed that he worked 2 days the week of Thanksgiving 2016. The problem, however, is he never showed up. He never showed up for a vote. He never showed up for a committee hearing. In fact, as Eric Rasmussen put it, we got the whole thing on camera. The guy just didn't show up. He didn't show up even for a second during that entire week. So they tried to track McMurdy down. Where do they end up finding McMurdy? McMurdy was at a party for a fire chief who had just retired. So Eric Rasmussen confronts McMurdy, and the fire chief actually gets very aggressive with Rasmussen, saying, leave my buddy alone, leave my buddy alone. So Rasmussen says, okay, I'm going to wait on the sidewalk. I just want to ask you a simple question. Why did you claim, travel expenses for 2 days during the week of Thanksgiving? We have it on tape. You never showed up. As God is my witness, it's like a bank robber with a heist. McMurdy, the state rep from Dedham, runs to the back of the firehouse, exits through the back door. He's running from the reporter and gets into a getaway car, not even his own car. His car is parked in the parking lot. A town councilor, I guess with the getaway car, literally says, come on in, Paul, come on in. And he jumps into the getaway car and speeds away. It's like a freaking heist. They even got the guy who's driving the getaway car so he doesn't have to answer questions. Listen to this. Roll it, Britt.
We just wanted to talk to you about the... Please shut that off. Can I just pay some respect?
Absolutely.
That's when the fire chief got physical with our cameras.
Don't you touch the camera.
We agreed to wait on the sidewalk for a few minutes to speak with the state rep. But look, our camera was still rolling when he made a dash for the exit. His getaway driver, the Westwood Town Administrator.
Representative.
Nick Murtry leaving his own car in the parking lot.
Unbelievable.
All to avoid answering our questions.
I'm just such honest guys, huh? I mean, you know, you think he's covering up? You think? You know, I think he deserves another raise. Because it's obvious this poor guy can't get by on a state lawmaker's salary. He's got to be bilking the taxpayers for the commuting expenses. This poor guy. I mean, who runs through the back of a fire station? The back exit. Gets in the car, a different car, and they drive off. This guy. And the other thing, here's the kicker. So this poor Eric Rasmussen, Aaron Smith, they're calling. He won't call them. He doesn't want to take their calls. This staff is avoiding him. He won't take calls. How much you want to bet this hack, this Democratic hack, is going to get reelected with an overwhelming majority? How much you want to bet? So he's stealing from you. He's lining his pockets. He's falsifying records to put money in his pocket that you pay for. It's all your money. This is your money. And he's acting literally like a bank robber. This is a stick-up. Come on, quick. Get the car, quick. And I am telling you that this guy is going to get reelected with an overwhelming majority. Because for some reason, the people of this state love to see their money stolen. They can't give enough to these Democrats. They just can't. So let me ask you this, just for argument's sake. If you or I, if we were stealing public money, if we were falsifying records, you know, that is fraud, and embezzling money, you think you and I would go to jail? What do you think? But not if you're a hack and a crook up on Beacon Hill. You know, I hate to say this. Remember the old saying, crime doesn't pay? Oh, if you're a politician, especially a hack in this state, oh, does it pay? Oh, does it pay? Here's what we need to do. We need to have a massive audit, a full independent audit of the budget of these lawmakers, of their expense accounts. I mean, I'm talking A to Z. And start throwing people in jail. And here's the kicker. This kind of corruption, there's at least 40 state lawmakers that they know of. I'm sure it's much higher than that. This corruption is so prevalent and so rampant. When these two journalists wanted to investigate even more, some brave whistleblower up on Beacon Hill shared with them an internal email from Porky Pig Bob DeLeo. House Speaker Bob DeLeo hired a lawyer, a public relations lawyer, who told all the politicians up on Beacon Hill, you don't have to answer questions to the media. If they talk about transparency, you are not obligated under the law to disclose your commuting logs. So don't let the people know what your commutes are, what day and what time, because if they start cross-referencing, you're going to get in trouble. The Leo is hiring a lawyer to protect all the state lawmakers, including himself, from telling you and me how they spend our money. And I'm going to go even further. I will bet you the best steak at the Hanover Street Chop House. You do a real audit, you're going to find people like the Leo are going to be claiming per diem expenses that they had to travel up to Beacon Hill while they were on vacation in Florida. I will bet you the best steak. Well, no, this one was in the Bahamas. Well, no, this guy was in the Virgin Islands. Well, no, this guy was in Florida. No, this guy was in Hawaii. But he worked all 5 days that week. No, that whole week, oh my God. Committee meeting, it's $100 a day. The poor guy kept going back and forth. I don't know how he did it. All the commuting he did that week. That's how much they steal. As they say in Eastern Europe, take, but not so much. State Representative Paul McMurtry apparently billing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for commutes to the State House that he never made. I mean, it's a heist. And when confronted about it, he just ran. Ay, ay, ay. State Rep of Dedham, by the way. Okay, if you want to give McMurtry's office a call and maybe suggest that the crook should hand himself in, or at least give back the money that he stole, this is a State Representative Paul McMurtry's office number up on Beacon Hill. 617-722-2582. Give him a call. You pay his salary. That money that he stole, that's your money that he stole. So you should call up and say, I want my money back. That's my money. Give me my money back. 617-722-2582. 2582. So 617-722-2582. Give State Rep Paul McMurtry a call. Also, if you want to see the story, read the story and see the actual video of him running away from Eric Rasmussen and Fox 25 or 25 Investigates, it's up on WRKO.com. So just go to WRKO.com and you can see the whole thing for yourself as he's in his getaway car taking off. All right. 781. Jeff, we would be better off with the actual mafia running things. Yes. I'm being serious. They would, believe it or not, we would save more money if the actual mob ran this state. They'd be more efficient with our money. They would actually care more about our money. Believe it or not. This is from 617. Jeff, outrageous. I am an attorney. I have represented people who have been charged with stealing a loaf of bread and similar items. They are prosecuted. Well, I know. Here, look, let me ask all of you. God forbid you lose your job. You run out of unemployment or whatever. Well, you have to go on social benefit or government assistance. And you can't make it to the end of the month or the first of the month when the check comes in. And your children are hungry. And you go to Stop and Shop and, you steal. You steal a loaf of bread, you steal a jug of milk, whatever. You don't think they prosecute you? For over $5-10? This guy, it's thousands of dollars. Thousands. The Leo protects him. The Democrats protect him. Most of the media protects them, and he's probably going to win re-election in a landslide. This is from 978. Jeff, these people are the same ones that wish to put tolls in place for us to pay, and then they will turn around and charge us even more for their commute. Bingo! Now you know how Hackorama's played here in the People's Republic of Massachusetts. 781. Jeff, I love it. We got Islamic terrorists yelling, Allahu Akbar, and state reps yelling, I love to cash grab. There you go. Skippy and Southie. Go ahead, Skippy.
Jeff, Dad McMurtry. She goes, that was her. I go out for my afternoon jog, just get some circulation. Nothing going on here. But, Jeff, let me ask you this. Where's the state inspector general? Where's the state attorney general? Where's Charlie Chicken? All that's going on there, that's called larceny by scheme, which is always a felony. So they should be going after them for larceny by scheme. So Charlie's letting this go right under his nose. And also, DeLeo, he hires this consultant firm, not to say, hey, guys and gals, cut it out. No, here's how you don't get caught. And we're paying for the consultant to tell them not to get caught.
No, I know. It's incredible. No, Skippy, I'm telling you, it's absolutely incredible. Look, really. God forbid, I'm out on the street without a job. I run out of government assistance. I go to my local Shaw's or Stop and Shop. and I steal a loaf of bread and a jug of milk, really, for the kids. Okay, a peanut butter and some milk. I'm not saying you should steal. Please don't get me wrong. I'd be arrested for shoplifting. I'm telling you, I swear to God, I'd be prosecuted over this. This guy, what is it, $12,000. They're billing us, lying, falsifying the logs. And he wants us to feel sorry for him. Because apparently he just works so often that he forgets the days that he comes in and the days that he doesn't come in. And then you have a state treasurer, that hack, Deb Goldberg, who just, well, it's the honor system. You mean like you don't check? You don't have somebody just checking, cross-referencing a little bit? Okay, so he was there, he says, all week. Was he there all week? Could you make some calls? Say, was he present for that vote? Was he really at that meeting? Was he in committee? Was he there? It's the honor system. They say $12,000. I cut him a check. They say $21,000. I cut him a check. Whatever money they want, I just cut him a check. 617-266-6868. Notice with these libs, they're always generous with our money. The latest on Trump's trip to Asia with Evan Heidenreich. Take it away, Evan. 2:37 here on the Great WRKO. Okay, State Representative Paul McMurtry. He's the guy that's been one of the many that's been swindling our money in terms of bilking us, charging us for commuting to the State House when, in fact, he never went to the State House, falsified records, and has been pocketing thousands upon thousands of dollars when confronted by a Fox or 25 Investigates reporter. He ran. He ran and got into a getaway car. His own car, by the way, was parked in the parking lot. He ran through the back exit of a fire station and got into the getaway car and took off. He's from Dedham. He's a state rep from Dedham. Obviously a Democrat, a hack. Let's give him a call. State Rep Paul McMurtry, 617-722-2582. 617-722-2582. Tell him to give us back our money. That he stole, we're the bank, and he stole our money, and we want our money back. And that he should resign on the spot, and by the way, take away all of their pensions. That's the first thing. No pensions. You guys have stolen enough. You've set up your families for the rest of their lives. We're not going to pay you again. No state pensions. Period. Full stop. 617-266-6868. Okay. Let me throw one more log on the fire. A special commission in Massachusetts recommended yesterday that Massachusetts, along with other New England states, in fact, the plan is that Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Connecticut form a new or be part or shift to a new time zone. And in particular, this Massachusetts Special Commission recommended against switching to year-round daylight saving time and ending the practice, which honestly I think is really annoying, ridiculous, chaotic, of, twice a year. In fact, we're going to have to do it again this Sunday. You have to move the clocks forward 1 hour and then move them back an hour. We do this twice a year, every year. And I always forget, is it an hour ahead? Is it an hour behind? It causes chaos, disruption. It's a real pain. So they're saying, let's stop doing that. Let's stop playing with the clock. And let's do what they have, say, in Canada, where the maritime provinces are on the Atlantic time zone. It's also, by the way, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and they're recommending that New England join or shift to a new time zone, which is the Atlantic time zone, where we would be an hour ahead of, say, Eastern Standard Time, what we are on now. And the reason why they recommend it, there's many reasons, but the heart of the reason is that if we were to go to Atlantic Standard Time, we would be 1 hour ahead, let's say, of the Eastern time zone, 2 hours ahead of Central, 3 hours ahead of Mountain, and obviously 4 hours ahead of Pacific time. So America would go from 4 time zones to 5 time zones. And the benefit of that for us here in New England is that, say, in the winter, you're already feeling it now in the fall, but it gets really bad in the winter. The sun comes down 3:30. By 4 o'clock, it is pitch dark black. This way, if we shift it to the Atlantic time zone, even in the dead of winter, you would still have sun at least until 5 o'clock. And so what that would do is that would extend sunlight during the winter and the fall. They say that will have many beneficial effects. One of them, more sunlight, just healthier. They say it's better for shopping, for retail. People are going to be out there shopping a bit longer because there's sunshine, there's sunlight. They say crime will probably go down because when there's more darkness, there's more crime. So they feel that in terms of a quality of life, in terms of boosting productivity, boosting the economy, lowering crime, that this would actually be very beneficial to the New England region. Now, Massachusetts is not powerful enough, even though we have Boston as the big economic, financial, and cultural hub, to do this alone. And so they recommend that there at least be a regional block. So Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut at a minimum. They'd like to drag in New York, but I don't think New York will go for it. Maine, from my understanding, from what I've read, has passed this initiative in both the state House and the state Senate. It requires a referendum by the people of Maine. I think they want to do it in Maine, but they don't want to go it alone. So they want to make sure that other New England states join them. Here's my opinion, and then I want to throw it open to you. I actually think it's a very good idea for many reasons. I think it's frankly extremely depressing that in the wintertime, the sun goes down so early. 3:30, 4 o'clock, December, January, February. It's like 8 o'clock at night out there. And so I think for a quality of life, it's better to be an hour ahead, have more sunshine, more daylight, more sunlight. I think on that level, it's going to be much better. And furthermore, I do think that New England, like other regions in the country, but New England in particular, is a distinct region. I believe we are culturally distinct. Whatever you think about it, I think we are genuinely distinct. And I think we do kind of jut into the Atlantic Ocean. Maine is a classic example. It's almost like southern Canada. And I know that the maritime provinces love being on Atlantic Standard Time for their quality of life, and just because it fits their natural rhythm of life better. I believe the same thing for New England. I think that we're a distinct region. I think we should have our own distinct time zone. I think that it would benefit us considerably. I actually like the idea that we would be an hour ahead, say, of Eastern Standard Time, or 2, 3, or even 4 hours ahead, say, on those on the West Coast. I think it's a very good idea. I think it's good for economic coordination for all of the New England states. I think it's going to have people feel better in the wintertime. I know that I get a little bit depressed in the winter because I never see any sun, because the days are so short. And I think that the Eastern Standard Time block is just too big. I genuinely think it's just too big. And so, like the Maritimes, we do sort of hug the Atlantic Ocean, and we do kind of jut a little bit more eastward than other states. And to me, I could easily see myself being very happy in an Atlantic time zone. And so my question to you is this. It's the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Bill Kelly Financial Services. Should Massachusetts, obviously with the caveat that is with other New England states, should Massachusetts shift to the Atlantic time zone? Is it a good idea? If you believe the answer is yes, let's be 1 hour ahead of New York and New Jersey and others in the Eastern time zone. text the letter A to 680 680. If you believe the answer is no, we don't need it, Jeff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Text the letter B to 680 680. As always, you can vote online at WRKO.com. Brittany, I'm just curious. Are you an Atlantic time zoner or are you an Eastern time zoner?
I'm going to say no. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That was literally what I was thinking as you were explaining this. I don't know. I feel like when we do change times, it messes everybody up. People are like late for work half of the time. They forget to change the clocks and everything. And now if you're going to do this, forget it. People are really going to be messed up.
Well, hold on. No, you're just permanently 1 hour ahead.
Yeah, but I think like when it changes right away, I feel like everyone's going to be like, what am I doing? What time is it? So, I don't know. I just feel as though if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I do agree a little bit that, when you're driving home and you're stuck in traffic and it's just like pitch blackout, I hate that. But
yeah, it's like 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, 4:30 and it's pitch black.
It's pitch black.
Yeah.
It could be like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but, I don't understand who this benefits, Jeff, so.
Well, it would benefit us.
I don't know.
You'd have sunlight until 5:30 in the wintertime, Britt.
Yeah, but it's still
wouldn't
cold
that be nice?
out.
But at least you see sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. 617-266-6868 is the number. Just very quickly, I'm just curious, business owners, would it be a problem, say you close your business at 5 or 6 o'clock, but New York or Philadelphia or Washington is still open because they're 1 hour behind? To me, that's the only serious counter-argument to this. And they say that the kids would be going to school in the dark because the sunrise would come up a little bit later. They don't want kids going to school in the dark. This would make it less safe for the kids, so they'd want to have the kids start school at a later time. Look, I went to school in the dark. It wasn't the end of the world. That's not what really concerns me. It's only if it would hurt businesses because they're closing offices 1 hour before they close the offices, say, in New York or Philadelphia or Washington.
Wouldn't this mean that it's going to be darker in the morning?
Yes.
Ugh, see, then it's even harder to get up in the morning, Jeff.
No, I know, but think about it. It's already pretty dark in the morning during the winter time.
Not really.
Oh, yeah, 7 o'clock. You're lucky if you see sunshine at 7.
Oh, come on. That's not true.
I think so. In December, January, February, you better believe it.
7 o'clock, it's still dark out? No, it's going to, I don't think so.
I think so. I'm just, maybe you like to sleep in or whatever, and you're missing 7. I'm telling you, by 6:30, 7 o'clock in the wintertime.
The sun's up.
It's pretty dark. You can just see it coming up there over the horizon. I'm just saying. It's already pretty dark in the morning. I'm just saying. So I'd like to see sunshine at 5:30. That would make me very happy. Aaron in New Hampshire. Go ahead, Aaron.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Good to have you back, brother.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, if this prevents Moonbat from howling at the moon, I'm for it. But I don't know. I'm a little confused about it. If we go to Atlantic, standard Atlantic time, doesn't that mean it's going to be light until 10 o'clock at night in the summertime? Wouldn't you want to just eliminate daylight savings time and everything runs on, I guess, what they used to call God's time, whatever the normal time is? Well,
that's the other thing. No, Aaron, you're right about this. Look, for most of our history, people don't know this, we never used to fidget with the clocks. Like, we did it a little bit during World War I. The country hated it. And up until 1966, we never did this, 1 hour ahead, then 6 months later, 1 hour behind, and then again 1 hour ahead. It was Congress, again, as always, in their infinite wisdom. So in 1966, Congress said, no, you're going to have daylight savings time. You got to go 1 hour ahead. You got to go 1 hour behind. So what they're just proposing is nobody changes the clocks. We just go 1 hour ahead. Like they do like in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, like in the maritime provinces. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and that's it.
That's the way it should be.
That's what I'm thinking, but what do I know, Aaron? Thank you for that call, buddy.
May I ask you a question real quick?
Yes, go ahead, shoot.
They originally did this for the farmers, right? With today's technology and the way things things are different now, do the farmers really need it still?
Well, I know I swear I'm being serious. The cranberry growers, I swear to God, are lobbying intensively for this time change. They say that extra hour of sunlight really helps the cranberry crop grow. So I know that some farmers really want us to go to Atlantic Standard Time.
I'm sorry, Jeff, one more thing. It doesn't make sense. We're not adding an hour to the day. We still have the same amount of sunlight. We're just changing the way we live in that sunlight.
Yes, we're just reconfiguring the day.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll have more sun at the end of the day as opposed to earlier in the day. So what that means is, just in plain English, you'll have, in the winter time, like in the Atlantic provinces, okay, like in the maritime provinces in Canada, in the winter, 5:30 is when you're going to have sundown. In the summer, however, 9:30 is when you're going to have sundown. So do you want a later sundown or do you want a later sunrise? Take your pick. 617-266-6868. I'd like to see some sun while I'm sitting in traffic, but that's just me. 256 here on the great WRKO. Okay, this is from 978. Jeff, so you're saying you are a trans timer and you identify with the Atlantic time zone. That's a good one, by the way, 978. There's 617 makes a really, really good point. Jeff, 315. It's 315. This is from 315. Jeff, if New England switches to the Atlantic time zone, that means that they will have more influence in the elections because their polls will close 1 hour earlier compared to the Eastern time zone and the rest of the country. I've got to say this, having been born and raised in Canada, the one thing about the maritime provinces, their polls, because they're an hour ahead, right? Their polls would close an hour earlier. So the country would get a sense of where the election was going to go by how the maritime provinces voted. So you're right, 315. This could potentially give us a bit more influence and a bit more pull or a bit more clout, let's say, in a national presidential election. 617-266-6868. Do you think we should shift to an Atlantic time zone? If you believe the answer is yes, text the letter A to 680-680. If you believe the answer is no, text the letter B to 680-680. The poll question, as always, powered by Bill Kelly Financial Services. You can vote online at WRKO.com. Brittany, I'm an A, you're a B. Where is the audience?
68% yes. Massachusetts should shift to Atlantic time zone. And 32% no, keep it the way it is.
Wow, I'm surprised. I really thought it was going to be evenly split.
I didn't.
Oh, really?
Just through the text messages and the phone calls, I just figured that it would be more people leaning with you.
Interesting. Bob in Chelmsford. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I talked to you long ago, but I've got some theory. I have a theory on this. I've been around long enough to remember when all this started. And first of all, the change, let's just stick with the fall, all right? Fall back.
Yes.
It started in September when it originally started, sometime in mid to late September. Then it went to sometime in October.
No, I know, and then they kick it to November.
Yeah.
Look, Bob, I'm up against it. Look, get rid of this daylight savings time. I can't stand it. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 93.7 WEEI HD2 Lawrence, Boston. It's 3 o'clock.